Are you ready to be the best that you can be? Join hybrid business coach and consultant Charity Brown and her guest as they give you behind-the-scenes access to the insider tips and tricks that will help you take your business to the next level. Charity has an extraordinary approach to boosting businesses to break out of their modes, influence their industries, and become leaders of their packs. And she's ready to pass this inspiring knowledge on to you today. Learn how to change your game and build your business into what you've always dreamed of, right here on the Create Clarity with Charity podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Create Clarity with Charity podcast. Today I have an amazing guest. He is here to help us heal ourselves, along with giving us all this depths of knowledge from the traditional modern medicine to the ancient. Dr. Rao Kolusu. Hi.
Hi, Charity.
How are you doing? Good. I'm so happy you're here. And I know my audience is going to be thrilled to hear all your insights. You've been working on some amazing programs and life transforming type of exercises that people can do to help battle the hustle, the burnout, stress, overwhelm, and all those pesky things that hold us down. Yeah. So let's talk about you, Doc. I'm so happy you're here, and let's talk about your amazing last 40 years as a MD, and how you came into this place of giving us some ancient knowledge.
Yeah, it started with me coming into United States in 1982. I came as a green card holder, and I started working in a geriatric hospital in 1983. And that hospital is more like a chronic disease, and we had one building for each doctor. And I was just following my principle of duty for duty. And somehow I got promoted the next year to chief residency, which is a big post for that hospital and for the structure of the hospital. But I was young, but all the other doctors were senior to me, but they made a leader of me because of my whatever commitment I had for the hospital, right? I was surprised, but then I didn't want to lose a chance, opportunity. So I accepted it, and that was a real good experience for me because everybody was very kind and nice to me. The hospital administration and all the other people except the doctors. The doctors gave me a real hard time because they didn't want to change their ways. That was okay, but then I was stressed out. Then I read this book, Healing the Healer, by Michael. He wrote about what is the wrong with the whole system of medicine, what we should be doing, and how we should really see greed factor of that was in the medicine, and how doctors are not taking care of themselves even at that stage, and then they are burning out. At the time we called stressed out, but now we say it is burnout, and but I got a lot of support from the hospital administration and every other branch. So I got through that phase and also changed my attitude, my approach to my other fellow doctors. And I taught them how to take care of themselves a little better by being their friend and benefactor. I won them over and they cooperated very well. And we did a lot of good things for the hospital. And then I got my license, and then I moved away from the hospital to New York to do residency in internal medicine. And that internal medicine was a real good experience. And then I went into the ER right there as an ER physician for a couple of years. And there I used to be so cool. So they used to give me all the difficulty cases, all the cardiac arrest and all that. I used to handle 3 cardiac arrests at the same time, standing in the middle of the room. All the 3 teams are working on 3 different patients are in trouble. Any false move, they will die. But then we were so good as a unit, so it went very well. All these philosophies also worked there, where I kept my mind quiet, but I was so intense on the work that worked for us very well,
Yeah. So you went through that stress, that hustle, that how it can really destroy people, right? I mean, that feeling of having someone's lives in your hands, along with all the dictation and the management of your staff, and
Right.
being that head can really weigh on someone, right?
Yeah. In the morning, I used to get up and do this deep breathing exercises and the little bit of yoga, not much, but little bit of yoga. That used to keep my mind quiet and non-reactive. So when I walked into the 7 o'clock is my shift start. Right away, they used to bring all these serious patients. Somebody need to be intubated, somebody is not breathing at all, somebody's heart stopped. All those cases used to come. And because I was cool, all my team was cool. So that worked out very well for us.
Oh, good. They were all doing the breathing exercises too.
No, they were
Oh,
following my lead.
oh, they're following your lead. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at the time I was not into teaching people, I was just doing for myself.
Oh, got it.
But then they knew why Dr. Rao is cool and quiet, and they know my temper also. But at the same time, I'm very professional and very much calm and quiet, and that they like in the work atmosphere. Otherwise, high tension prone. We can easily make it a very high tension. But everything was cool and calm, and that helped us. That's the only point I wanted to make. How we can cultivate this non-reactive, calm, quiet mind, so that in the work we won't get triggered by events or words or anything. So my point is we can have that control within ourselves. Then
Yeah.
the EMR also, I made it like a asset for me. Other people are looking at like a big headache, but I went and learned with other people, and then learned so deeply that became an asset for me, because
Yeah.
I was doing work very fast compared to other doctors, because I went into the workings of the EMR and learned the tricks of it. So
Mhm.
anything that is new to us, we can make it an asset, or we can make it something not. So that is how I handled the information overload, because I don't want to open all the patients at a time. I used to open only one patient and do it and close it. That kind of orderly mathematical order really helped me to deal with that burnout due to the EMR. That was a big deal for a lot of doctors, because they are burning out, because they don't know how to really master the technique and put it as an asset for them.
Yeah, emotional intelligence, right? And learning how
Yeah,
to work through all that is definitely like one of those inner fitness
yeah,
type of activities, the breathing, the taking yourself
exactly.
to that higher consciousness so you can keep going when you're met with
Yeah.
very
At the
stressful
time,
situations.
more than physical yoga, I used to do a lot of reading on the deep philosophy, and that gave us me some indications of how our mind works. There are areas that we can really cultivate, so that we are really strong in memory and strong in imagination, focus, and all that. Those tricks from the ancients really helped me to keep my mind focused on the work, focused on the goal I'm going and the process I'm doing. That helps.
Yes, and that helps, and that's what you've done. If you walked through the fire and
Fire.
you've learned,
And that
and
too, New York. New York was very busy hospitals, and they can overwhelm you in any circumstance.
yeah, they will rock you. That's some high
Yeah.
intensity. And I only commend you during COVID. You're still MD, so I know you are still in it.
Yeah. Actually, COVID, I involved myself a lot online. Now, all over the world, India, Australia, UK, Africa, a lot of people called me for meetings, because I was actively following the COVID, the whole travel, how it started, how we struggled for the vaccine, all those things I was
Yeah,
involved.
you were like at a legislative level, right? Or like really in it at a huge
Exactly.
level of getting that under wraps, right? It wasn't you were just on one meeting. You were literally helping make the way so everyone could have a vaccine and be
Yeah,
cured.
I was
Yeah.
happy to participate in them, because raising the funds, sending to India and other places, and raising oxygen cylinders and all those things. Some kids came to me, youngsters, and they wanted me to help them to promote their own oxygen cylinders. Everything, the need at the time was acute. but these people have technical skills. They wanted to do it. So I brought them and introduced to the people here who have a
Mhm.
clubhouse room. So, and they went into there, and then I introduced them, and they got a lot of funds, a lot of connections. So we were able to address somewhat to that oxygen need at this time. Like that, uh, grief and anxiety. I used to work with people who are really lost people that they never expect they will lose that quickly, so there was
Yeah.
an intense grief. So my, introduction into ending life and those issues, the death and dying and grief, that really end of life issues we call them, and that helped a lot. And also my understanding of how ancient viewed death also helped too. But COVID was a real big deal, and we had to really be there, available to many people for information, for what to do if they get to COVID, and what are the things that they should keep quiet, and all those things help them to uh, lessen the ease of the suffering. Let me say, we
Yeah.
cannot eliminate that, but it lessen the suffering a little.
And you also created your amazing program, beapal.com. Let's go there during COVID,
Yeah.
because that's really why we're here, audience, is that um, there is the evolutionary entrepreneur, the one that uses the ancient medicine, ancient practice with the modern day life, right? And gives back and gives us these secrets that are so coveted and aren't taught in school or in, stress management or anger management classes or anything where you're having emotional collapse or breakdown, and like we just aren't given these tools. Modern day families and institutions aren't giving the tools that really work, that don't require a prescription, right, doc?
Yeah. It's a progress to this movement, Charity. What it is practicing modern medicine in a scientific way was really a treat, but at the same time, the services that people are getting, they needed improvement in the terms of delivery, and also amount of focus on prevention, health maintenance. They were not given proper funds or importance in American society. That's why we are having so many chronic diseases, and they are not improving. When I looked at the ancient wisdom, that is what they were doing. They were attending to the body, mind, and spirit in a way that is from inside out management, where they were making proper decisions for the diet and then taking the proper diet. And they took enough time to chew the food and eat it and all that, right? They savored
Mhm.
the food. But modern society kind of diminished the importance of taking care of ourselves in the way that we have to be strong and really calm inside. Then you can serve people better. So when I looked at the 40 years of medical practice, that is where I wanted to address. I wanted to make people well, so that they don't have to go to the hospital and clinic that easily. Only
Yeah.
if it is a real serious trauma or real serious illness, something suddenly happens, you can go genetic, all those things are there.
Yeah.
But regular person can really turn inside and find himself, manage the mind, and understand the life better, and make proper choices of food and optimal activities, sleep well, and keep the mind quiet. So I
Yes.
needed a company for that, and that's why I put it. Even the title also came up with a lot of things that I wanted to. I said, know who you are, what kind of thing is there within you, that is what you are. You have to find out, and then be aware. Don't be get caught by sudden things. Aware of what's going on. Like the COVID, I was very aware of where the cases are, what are the treatments evolving, what is the vaccine coming, and all that, right? And then always be in the present. That is something very, very important. Each letter I explained there. And then the other A is always be attentive. Do one thing at a time. That is, multitasking will not be a problem. And finally, I promote this, be loving. That means you give love, not expecting love. And then automatically you get the love. So all those principles I put it into the company's services, where people can be more in the present, more loving, and more really sustaining themselves from within by being in the present attentive, and also really realizing who they are. That the sustained thing is there. We can go from that energy and really identify everybody in the same energy. Then we can relate to the people much better.
Yeah. So audience, so I don't know if you cut on us, very, very crafty. Be a pal is the acronym for what he just said.
Yeah, I wrote
So
it.
beapal.net is be who you are, aware, present, attentive, and loving. Isn't that crafty? I love it. Be a pal
Yeah.
to yourself, most of all, right, Doc?
Yeah, this all came up with. I was reading the yogic sciences. I mean, real investigative things, right? They said, you see, we want to discover what is in us first, and we discovered this phenomenal, fulfilled self within ourselves, and then we kind of went and gave the compassion, gave the love, gave the kindness to other people, animals, and plants. I wanted to find that out. What it is calm your body, calm your mind, then you will discover yourself. I have so much within me that I can give to not just as a parent to the kids, but also to the wife, but also other members of our society. We can really give a lot to them. Thereby, giving, you get a lot.
Yes.
Once I
And
discovered it, it was magical the way I turned around.
that's beautiful. Yes. And that's so true that
Yeah.
giving is a form of love, right? So being in that
Everybody,
state is the highest
yeah,
state.
everybody feels good when they give from their heart, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's experience is that.
Yeah. And so in your program, so he has a amazing group and also some he does coaching and helps with all the different theories of the, you know, going from egocentric to servant leader and managing oneself and all the different minds that we need to battle so we can have peace of mind and calm mind and be in control of our emotional mind. So let's talk about that, your framework and your key areas of insight that you can help transfer to the audience where they know they feel and battle stress every day, they're feeling burnout and overwhelmed. Like what is something that you can tell them right now that could
Yeah.
help them?
I just wrote a small ebook where comprehensive self care.
Oh yes, here on the website on
Yeah,
beapal.net, the free
yeah,
ebook
yeah.
is
This,
right on the front page, my ebook burnout solution. So
yeah.
let's look at that.
In
Okay.
that, what it is those uh, four ways of food, activity, sleep, and mind. These are really discussed from the viewpoint of the modern plus ancient wisdom. Okay, so if you take the food, for example, um, obviously we need to know what is the food we're eating, what content of food you're eating that's there. We know the processed food is causing all the chronic diseases now, so we want to avoid those processed food. But when you have the food, take time, sit down and chew the food and savor the food, and then let it be in a way that doesn't disturb your homeostasis. For example, you are eating dinner at 6 to 8, then you give 2 to 4 hours for you to really go to before sleep, right? Then
Mhm.
you have a better chance of digesting all the food, and then waste is formed in the colon, and then in the morning you'll have a good, easy bowel movement. And if you keep that cycle going, that is what we call diurnal rhythm. Body has these rhythms, so we don't mess it with eating late after 10 o'clock, and then we don't have a good bowel movement, we don't have our energy is balanced that way. So
So
I
taking
present
time
it.
to taste the food, enjoy the
Yeah,
food,
yeah,
feel the nurturer and nourishment of the food, the energy that it gives you.
yeah,
Be conscious of that when you're
yeah.
eating. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's one thing I explained in that ebook, these four ways of our lifestyles, how we can address them. Then
Yeah.
I have this wellness club. In the wellness club, I come on Zoom and work with them personally and in the group. Somebody asked me for the low back pain. So I'm doing the low back pain oriented to her. and then everybody else can do their capacity. But at least she is getting the technique and also the number of times she could do. And then because they
Yeah,
can
so
come,
just let me let them know, the audience, just so you know, he's talking about Dr. Rose Wellness Club membership on his website on the beapel.net. There's a $69 a month membership and you get yoga live with Dr. Rose. Yay.
and also discussion. Like yesterday, something happened with Elon Musk came onto the Wisdom app, and my friend happened to open her room, and then he came to the room, and we all talked to him. I also talked to Elon Musk too, and we were talking about the intricacies of the discussion, and my take on that, how we should understand what he's talking about, and all that. They get to view all the current events and their own problems. They will present to them, and then they will get personal guidance from me. So this lady is really caught between, should I make money, should I go spiritually, what is the correct way?
Okay, so
Instead,
it's more than yoga. They actually get
yeah,
insights and
lot more than
consult.
yoga. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah, and
So
then
yeah, it says breath work, movement, awareness,
yeah,
training,
everything,
plus
everything.
personal guidance.
Yeah. The hour of practice in the morning really involves being in awareness the entire hour while you are in your asanas, while you are in your breathing, while you are doing your concentration meditative practice. And at the end of it, we kind of sit down and talk about things so that the personal difficulties, personal things, if they want to talk about it, I talk to them at the time.
Is that
Otherwise, they
once a
can come.
week, twice a week?
No, no, no. Every day I do it in the morning.
Oh, this is $69 for every day for 30 days.
Every day, even including weekends.
Oh, wow. And so you get 1 hour and you start with like an open forum and you
Yeah,
chat about any ailments,
anything.
stiffness, soreness, anything, and you will
And
consult and then you do some movement, breathing, and yoga.
yeah, see, this is kind
Oh,
of,
cool.
I'm building the tribe, like people who want to help themselves, who are really interested in taking a charge of their health, and they want to come. And I cannot do once a week and expect them to make progress. This is why every day I do it. I get the benefit of the yoga anyway. So why can't I relate with my friends who want some kind of insight into that? And once they get it, somebody came with shoulder surgery and they could not get her function. When she worked with me, I taught her micro yoga. In 2 weeks, she got the release.
Wonderful.
And
So I don't know if you guys know how valuable that is, what he
yeah,
just offered and what he's just exactly for those people that want the guidance and
yeah,
one-on-one support to really tap into those key things of managing oneself, strategy to overcome internal stress so we can live our healthiest life every day with you for a month. I think we would have a whole different world.
yeah. And also come on the Facebook Live. There is a group, Facebook group, a BFR group, and people are coming in there right just now. And
Wonderful. That's
I
great.
go
I hope
there.
you guys take advantage of this opportunity. I don't think I've ever seen a deal that good, full of insight and guidance from a doctor who's practicing ancient and modern day medicine who will meet with you every day in the morning to be your best self. So that is really quite a phenomenal offer. So if
See, I
you're
used
into
to
healing, he's,
I used to do on the Instagram charity, but then I was not seeing them. So I don't know what is happening with them. That's why I opened this Zoom where I can see them and correct them as they are doing
oh
it.
yeah, so you have a Zoom and then it's like you're in the same room, right? Like
Center.
you
Yeah,
really can engage with them and give them like good insight.
yeah,
That's super awesome. So that's a real gift. Being able to get emotional intelligence by using those ancient techniques of breathing and clearing your, chakras and getting in alignment and learning how to sit healthy and do chair yoga or what, all kinds of things, right? Like, what are some
yeah.
of the best tips that you think that you could give the audience right now that
Yeah, I kind of make them be in the present in the morning because they ask, I also always tell them, be here and now through this 1 hour. Put all the electrical bills, anything that you have for 1 hour, postpone them. Be here and now. And then start breathing deep. That makes it much more easy to be non-reactive after you go from there.
Do you do any envisioning exercises? So a lot of people think, oh, I'm present, I'm sitting here, but consciously they may be somewhere else. Their heart may be somewhere else, their mind. So do you do an exercise where you like, okay, become present, like just
Yeah,
sit down into your
in the
body
yeah,
and feel
yeah,
your consciousness sit into your
yeah.
body and become present, like very aware of
Yeah,
being
you
present?
can be aware with each thing that you do with me. In the morning when I come there, I immediately bring them to the relaxing breathing and also limbering exercises. Then we go to asana. Each asana, first of all, technique is explained. And then as you go to each one, you will find how your body is interacting with that particular asana. Right there, I bring your attention to that. You know, then
Awesome.
you have to pay attention to that and not do too much, and then really understand where the problems in the body are. And then
Excellent.
combined with that deep breathing, really makes you come here and relax you too, and then take you with the stiffness and strain in the body. And then I take you to the session of just observing the thoughts, being the watcher, and that kind of slows it down later on. And then when you are only one thought, you go beyond the thought. Those are real steps people go through, but I work with whoever is at whatever stage is. There's
And is
no,
that the natural
yeah,
homeostasis
yeah,
vital that you nurture that? Is that
you got
part
to
of that?
come back to your natural homeostasis by understanding how much it has gone away from it. Like, for example, your appetite. If you eat when you're really hungry, then the body really digests better, and then you leave it alone without eating all the thing you do in the middle of the 2 meals. You don't want to eat that much, and then you starve, and then you eat, you digest better, and your whole mechanism inside the body intelligence maintains these diurnal rhythms, day-to-day rhythms. You preserve them. The more you preserve them, the better you are.
Beautiful. So, audience, just to reconnect you with exactly what this offer is, wellness, being aware, meditation, breathing exercises to become present and more mindful, bringing you to a place where you can be more emotionally um, able to deal with stress and overwhelm. So this is a real gift for $69 a month to have access to him
I
to
I just
teach
put
you.
a price because I want it to be affordable to everybody, and
Yeah.
at the same time, I should be available to them every day. So that's a very simple thing for me. $16 is like a $1, $2 a day probably, but then all through every day I do it almost. So people come, and then I come on that Facebook group where they can post their questions and participate in discussions and come and ask live questions and all that. That also there.
That's beautiful. That is such a comprehensive self-care program that you have there that really is something we all need to practice because like you said, this goes into the cellular level into our bodies and why we get cancer, heart disease, stroke, pain, stress, stiffness, arthritis, all these things we kind of create ourselves because we're not doing this ancient process of being able to relieve ourselves from toxins and things that are causing us these problems, right?
Yes, yes. Because I promote organic food, I promote optimal exercise. Optimal exercise doesn't mean you have to exert yourself to that. What you need to understand is what is the optimal way I can go to the cellular level and stimulate that. Breathing, for example, you
Yeah.
take deep breath. What happens is the diaphragms go down. There are more alveoli open, so more oxygen go into your system, more carbon dioxide comes out, and the more oxygen go to the cellular level much better because you are doing the yoga postures that can stimulate the muscles you don't even know they are there. So it goes that deep with the yoga practice. You can do other things too, but you always complement that with the yoga. That other exercise improves. Suppose I'm walking on the treadmill, I never get cramps however hard I work because this breathing practice. So that kind of understanding where our body needs what nutrients and how depth you can go is really help you in the long run. Like I'm 67, but I'm not on any medications. I'm not against medications, but I am for the appropriate use. Instead, you let the body go whichever way it wants to go and then get it spoiled. Then you only live on medications. Then our body natural intelligence is gone. So if you really preserve your body intelligence, then you know that is what is going to happen.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Yoga and breath has saved me from pain. You know, I had the two major back surgeries and I do yoga 5 to 6 times a week, but I literally started just rolling on the ground because I was in so much pain and the breathing, I had to do all the breathing to get through the pain and to get off the pain medications and the neurological medications that they were giving me that were killing me and that were keeping me heavy and like kind of repressed my mental state and everything. And like yoga and breathing saved me. And it starts enlightening you. You start becoming more aware about everything else, what you're putting in your mouth, what you're ingesting, what you're watching, what you're listening to. It will bring you to a whole new awareness of your body, and everything. So I fully support this ancient practice. I know so many of my listeners do because they're already on that evolutionary kind of journey of loving themselves and healing themselves and being the best version of themselves. And you guys, today you have the best opportunity to get some of the greatest insights from somebody who knows the path. So I would definitely take him up on his wellness club membership offer. Also download the free ebook on beapal.net. And do you have some more insights?
Yeah,
Maybe
I have
your
many.
CTA and 10 things you can tell the audience that could help
See,
them be
the
the best.
yoga that I do can be the technique even, and we're really starting the day in awareness, in really good energy, and at the clear mind, right? So people take that like a fragrance through the day. How much you implement depends upon you. But once you do that, then it will be very, very easy for you to say, okay, I am going to handle this situation better because you are not triggered by situation, rather you are in charge of the situation, you are non-reactive, and you are more responsive to the things that are happening. That's one thing we focus. Other thing is, how is it to be in yoga posture, like all day? The posture in the sense I am being stable and contented and really in charge of situation. That happens to you. The other day my friend came and said, I've been doing this yoga for 2 3 weeks now, but now I don't have that reactions anymore. What is this? I can't really understand what. Then I said, you are spending time deep breathing most of the day. So that's why your parasympathetic nervous system is stimulated, which makes you more non-reactive rather than sympathetic overload means you react very quickly. So that
Yeah.
kind of comes down. You enjoy your work, you enjoy situations, and you may not make enemies by reacting to them in a way because it is coming with you. That kind of thing is really helping people who are stressing out, who are burned out. And there's so much more in that. The other thing I do is, come on, look at those things that I was talking. Be present, be attentive. When you are doing
Mhm.
the work, be attentive to whatever you're doing, one thing at a time. Pay attention to every action. I teach it and then make them cultivate that so that when they go, they are not invaded by this multitasking. Even if they have, they only take one at a time and then do it. If you take a juggler, that's what he does. He only catches one ball at a time. All the other balls are going up and coming down, but he's focusing only one ball. And then that ball he catches next ball. But he does it very rapidly. But if you ask him, he will tell you that. That is something we need in the present day because we have multiple stimuli coming at us. So I kind of do the detox of electronic stimuli, detox of the food, detox of the body. Those so many detox I teach in the yoga class slowly. First of all, I want them consider switching to water from the cola instead of Pepsi Cola, Coca Cola. Once in a while is okay, but if you are making it like a habit or habituation and addiction to the cold drinks, they add so much weight in the year. But if you switch one thing at a time and then allow your body to learn the new thing, then it will adjust to it. But if you force it violently, then it will revolt. That's why everything is done slowly according to what stage you are with the body, with your mind, with your spirit, and then slowly take you along the ride. And then as you're doing them, you learn to like it, you stick to it more. That's why I put up every day for whoever want to take advantage. They can come as many times or as few times as they want. But most of the people, when they start, a couple of weeks later, I find them every day there because they miss it if they don't do it. So that's a good thing.
That's beautiful. I hope you guys all can absorb that and visit beapal.net and take him up on that offer, because I don't think you can get that great a guidance. I mean, just masterminds and one day workshops are 69, but to be able to have every day some insights from him would be invaluable to your health. So yeah, I really encourage you guys to go check out his website. And you can also reach him on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, YouTube. And it's Dr. Rao, Rao Kolusu, Kolusu. And you can find him all over online, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and connect with him. He's a wealth of knowledge and is helping heal all of us. So I thank you so much, Doc, for being here. You're such a wealth of information, and it's a real gift what you're giving back. So
Thank you, Charity.
thank you.
For me, you are a real find because you understand what is in your own personal life. You did all these things and you have overcome so much. So
I'm a
you
believer for sure.
yeah, that's where we kind of meet each other. And my intention is, can I provide some sources of relief of the modern stress? In that, I bring in some hacks from the ancient wisdom. You know,
Yes.
it's not that we have to go back and live like that, but why can't we improve our sleep by learning what they taught me about sleep? It makes me sleep very well. That's an example, like that.
Yes.
For everything, there's that knowledge. I think we kind of neglected that. And then also, I'm a scientific person, so I went and studied them, investigated them. I don't want to promote them just because of religion, whatever. I am a world citizen. I don't practice any religion, like I don't identify with anybody. I take messages from every religion. That's okay. But I don't want to divide people and separate them by identifying with one religion. In that way, I'm a very modern person.
Yeah.
But taking the experience of the ancients is really valid because they are not doing anything invasive. They're telling you non-invasive. They're presenting you to understand your mind. They're presenting you to understand your breathing. They're presenting you to understand your body. So what we are doing is changing our lifestyle, changing our attitudes and thoughts, thereby changing ourselves.
Yeah, and that's what we need. We need that shift, and your program has it. So I'm super excited, and from the bottom of my heart, namaste. And to all our listeners out there, namaste. Everyone feel blessed.
Deep
Taking a
breath.
deep breath and release the stress.
Exactly, exactly.
And we'll be back. Thanks for listening.